episode 4. This episode is called A Cup of Time, and this is your one and only warning. We are going to spoil it. So if you haven't seen it already, pause this, watch that, come back. You're back. Welcome back,
Hey, everybody.
Dressa.
Hey, I can't wait to later say one of my favorite jokes of all time. But what did you think of this episode?
Hold on a second. We're storing up jokes.
I mean, just for this one little thing.
What? Why would we store up jokes if we have a joke? Don't sit on it.
Because
Like,
it's relevant to what happens later on in the episode.
all right. This was a fun one. Did you not like it or did you
I
like it?
loved it! Oh my god! At first I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I was like, oh, made for TV rock and roll, I'm here for it. And then it just kept getting better and better and better. Do we know who that actress is who played Princess Di?
Lady
Oh, oh,
Di.
oh! Sorry.
Lady Di. Yeah. Lady Di, a reference to Princess
Oh,
Di,
who?
and
I'm not.
and obviously very fun because she's killing everybody. There's also that I don't know if you know the punk band The Freeze. They had a great song called Princess Di from like back when Princess Di was
Not
at the
dead.
top of her game.
Yeah.
Um
How is every single one of these episodes so
so
fucking
fucking
fun?
awesome. I know, right?
I mean, I knew it was gonna be good and fun, but Jesus Christ, you never let me down, Roby.
Everybody's great in this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, actually, I kind of feel like Jack. This is like I'm like so on Jack in this episode. I mean, I love Jack through and through,
Yeah.
but like he's getting hit on by a woman named Birdie, and he's just like dodging her advances in a way that is like uncomfortable.
Yeah, because he's thinking about all them bitches at that frat party. He's like, I can do better.
It's like I roofied all those dumb law school guys, so
That's gonna pay off any day now.
or maybe I don't know, maybe Jack's gay. Do we
Maybe.
consider that Jack might be gay?
I mean, I consider everyone gay first, but he just seemed like, not.
Hmm. Right, there's nothing. Okay, so this is 1987.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a ton of like overt queer coding that I'm aware of
Right.
happening at that time
Except
for
that he's
characters and
smart.
shows. He's smart, he's not married that we know of.
He's
He
good
could
friends
he
with a
could he
guy.
could have multiple families
You know what?
out on the road.
He was good.
Yeah. He was like best. He was so close with Louis Vondrady.
I think that we need to like rethink this. I think he was super gay. Best friends with a guy that owns
Fuck.
an antique store and he's smart.
I think we might have just cracked this case wide
I
open.
think you're right.
I mean, you know, these are playing into one to two stereotypes at least.
Uh-huh. Well, it's 80 stereotypes. That's
It's a
fine.
TV character. So,
They did it on purpose.
also, he's great at creating documents that
Um,
they need for any occasion.
eye
He's
for
a
detail.
master of disguise.
Yes. How young did he look later on in this episode? So young.
He just like had a wig on him. And he was very good at being approached from behind in the park.
That's true, Josh.
Anyway, um yeah,
Almost
so
like he was waiting
I'm just
for it.
saying his ability to like create documents and master of like different accents and that
Mhm.
kind of thing. That's uh something that I associate a little bit with like when you have an outsider in a story, they see from the outside because they have that perspective. Um, I think of Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes may or may not
Famously gay with Watson, yes.
may or may not have been
Famously
queer
gay.
coded. I
Famously
can't
gay.
say, but
Famously.
he undeniably exists with that, outside of the normal paradigm
Hmm.
and sees within. And so, like, in cases where it's meant to be that way, um, an outsider's perspective is what gives us, like, it's the detective that cracks everything.
I'm gonna
And
go
they are
ahead.
and they are an outsider because they know how to live with a secret.
That's right. I'm gonna go ahead and say that every one of those characters are queer and ace. That's what I'm going with. Because
Queer and ace.
if they weren't ace, nobody would like them in the 80s. That's what I'm going with.
Interesting. So you don't think that he just has like a private life that we're not privy to?
Ace people can have a private life. Just you don't want to fuck. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just talking on my ass.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
Absolutely.
let's get into this. We've got a live action Gem and the Holograms character. Her styling is 100% the cartoon of Gem and the
Well,
Holograms.
yeah. 80s. Do we know who that actress was? She looked very familiar. I did not look it up, and I feel like I know who she is, but I do not know.
You can look it up now if you want to.
That's hard. I don't wanna.
Anyway, Lady Di, she's great. Um, she is. It's it's unclear to me exactly how we're meant to feel about her as a rock star when we're first introduced to her in the studio. On the one hand, she's laying down tracks,
Yeah, she
and
is.
everybody who's like bopping their head in the studio,
And then
like,
some synth comes out of this track, and she's like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?"
yeah, it's like laser sounds.
I'm not into robots, you guys.
The engineer is like, oh, it's this new pulse thing. Everybody, we all loved it. And she's like, well, you're fucking up my vocals, dude. Get it the fuck out. And I think we're meant to think that she is a diva who's like
Yes.
unreasonable and can't be worked with. I
Yes.
think
Mm-hmm.
quite the opposite. Here is like the actual artist trying to like protect the integrity of her own work.
Sure, sure, sure. But also a super old lady who does not like new things.
Right. Her fucking cutting edge song is I'm a Little Teapot.
Yeah, they're in the car listening about how there's going to be an interview with Lady Di later, and he's like, "No, here's one of her big hits." And in the background, there's a guy in a phone booth, and he's like, "It's Marvin! Marvin Goose, your son? Mom, you're not going to believe this sound!" I've been waiting to say that all day. Ah!
Oh, fucking hell. All right. So this this episode is like a little bit more complicated than it needs to be with characters and stuff. The cursed object in this one is a teacup with a fucking vine pattern on it, and if you drink out of it, it like robs you of your life force and gives it to the person.
It grows vines out of it and robs
Yeah,
it that way because that's necessary. Also, this plant that is painted on this teacup is extinct, I guess?
a swapper's vine.
Yeah, that sounds fake.
And you can just look it up in the fucking manifest. Great that they have this manifest with like so much
So,
detail.
I mean,
And the signature for the guy who bought it was Fat Eddie.
oh
He signed
boy.
his nickname.
That's how he signs everything. He's one of those tiny guys. That's an ironic name.
So Fat Eddie Burrell, and it turns out that uh his sister has been missing for a year, Sarah, and she was like friendly with the social worker who is hitting on Jack. The social,
Relentlessly.
yeah.
Who
So her,
also
so
happens to be their neighbor or landlady or something. I don't know why, but she's in this episode a ton. Like she's always over there.
yeah, it's not,
We're never
yeah.
going to see her again either.
I hope not, because it was just more complicated than it needed to be. And nothing against her or like nothing against the actress or the character, but like it was just muddy.
Yeah. It got weird. Like she shows up in like a modern dress and she's like, "What do you guys think? Am I hot or what?"
Right.
And Mickey's like, "That's weird. I mean, pretty or whatever.
And Jack's
Why?"
like very different.
I don't. But why that scene at all? I don't understand that. You're not the
So
one who's killing
when people
people.
say different,
Mhm.
they mean weird, right? Like
Um, Gross. The worst.
right, like nobody says that's so different. I love it.
No.
When people say different, they're like normcore to the extreme.
Yeah.
It's like you're not wearing Dockers, you fucking weirdo.
Where's your polo?
Normcore. All
Ah,
right. So
yeah.
Lady Di, it okay. I'm gonna fucking go ahead and spoil the shit out of everything.
No. Okay, go ahead.
So Fat Eddie bought an antique teacup, probably because he's in the closet also.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he brings it home to his maiden sister, his elderly maiden sister.
Was this a big house? It felt like a big house, and I missed that part. Like,
Maybe, I don't know.
okay.
Turns out this is a cursed object that robs people of their life force by strangulation, and it swaps their energy and youth and vitality into the bad guy. In this case, his sister. She gets young and lives out her fantasy of being an 80s rock star and prima donna, I guess. And
That
uh
was like a real quick turnaround from being old to automatically. I mean, obviously she's going to be young automatically, but then super duper famous rock star in like how long? A year? 2 years? Come on.
1 year, I believe.
Good for her. How'd she make
Yeah,
that happen?
she hit the ground running.
Mm
She
hmm.
had eyes on the prize.
Mm hmm. Mm hmm.
So she's also been a serial killer preying on the homeless. There's one bench in one park in the city, and we keep seeing people on it that
And
that
there's a
a
random
shrouded figure approaches, like fucking Little Red Riding Hood, but also death.
with tea.
Want some tea on a cold night?
And you know what? I guess because a lot of them are men, they're like, yeah, give me whatever random liquid you have. I
Well, we
love
first see
it.
a teenage girl.
Right. But she
So
doesn't,
she
she's
murders
not
a
old
teenage
enough to
girl.
know.
Right.
And
She wakes this kid up. This kid's all asleep on the bench.
rude.
Right?
Come on.
Wake up. Drink this tea. Bitch, get
Okay.
out of here.
Wait,
The
did you say
fuck?
tea? I love tea.
How about get the fuck out of here? Do you think I'm asleep on a bench in a park with no weapons? Like,
Do you think it was easy to fall asleep on this bench? Do you think I've just been snoozing here for hours? I just fell asleep and you're waking me up? Bitch.
I am not well.
I
That's like something you should already know about me before you approach me. I am not well.
let's you know what? Let's fight. We're gonna fight now. What's
But
with this?
instead,
Yes?
she politely drinks the tea and dies by
That,
strangulation by animated vine.
that was polite. The the cop, the detective,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's great. He's great because he is. exactly. IRL cop. The Mickey and Ryan go in and they're like, "Hey, what's going on? We just want to know what's happening with this murder shit." And he's
Right.
like,
Just to back up for a second. That scene that you're describing.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So like 2 seconds before that, they're hanging out at the shop listening to the new Lady Di record. Birdie drops by, the social worker and maybe landlady. Although, don't they own the place? I don't get it. I
I
don't
don't.
fucking know. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
Nothing matters. Um, she talks about how there was a murder victim in the park, a runaway, a homeless teen. And
It
they're like, wait a
happens.
minute, a murder. And the next scene is Mickey and Ryan are inside the fucking autopsy. The autopsy is happening and they're in the room.
Okay, I just assumed I missed something and I
Nope.
blinked, or like, did
No.
they talk about it and I wasn't listening hard enough?
I
Like, I
mean, Jack was like, oh,
don't.
wait a minute. Did you say strangulation? Flip, flip, flip.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, there were a lot of scenes where it was like, hey, what did you say about that? Hey, don't be such an old bag. Hey, the old bag's here. A
Uh
lot of
huh.
like,
Right. We're hitting the crone versus youth thing
hard.
absolutely throughout the episode, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking go for it. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
the very like the first time we're introduced to it, Lady Di and her manager are talking about press shots. She's like, "No, I look old in that one."
Yeah. Go kill someone then. What's the
Yeah,
problem?
drink some blood, dummy. So
We all have
once
to.
by the way, I love that what is invested, what we are like following is the centuries old blood libel of like, it comes down through the centuries. The blood libel is it goes back as far as anti-Semitism, which
Mm-hmm.
is like Jews drink Christian babies' blood for X, Y, or Z reason. And then it comes up in like brand new conspiracy theories of like adrenochrome and like Hollywood elites,
Yeah.
aka and Kissinger and George Soros and like these people
Hillary Clinton.
may or may not be like stars uh or politicians. They are people of power, and they are either actually Jewish or just close enough.
Adjacent.
Yep.
But at least adrenochrome is real, and we can rely on that to stay young. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So the autopsy, they just walk into, and they're
Yeah,
just
they
like,
just
"Hey, what's
walk in.
up?
There's a dead body on the slab.
Oh, what's that?
Hey,
Oh,
we were just
cool.
wondered. We just like randomly want to ask you some questions.
Your
They have no
secretary told us you were
credentials of
here."
any
No,
kind.
they're just like dudes. Like,
Yeah.
hey, do. Hey, what's going on?
He's like
You,
neighborhood watch fuckers.
you fucking citizens always want information about if I'm doing my job. Oh, and I never do it.
Like my job is impossible. So here's what my job is now: to arrest you fucking dicks. You're trespassing. Trespassing? Isn't this like public
Public.
property? I
Yeah.
mean, like maybe I'm not supposed to be in this room, but I don't know about trespassing.
Yeah. But also, what are you doing? You're not doing shit. You're just looking at a dead body. You're not solving anything. You're
Yeah,
just
Lieutenant, why are you in the autopsy yourself anyway? Like,
eating a sandwich or whatever the fuck you
just
were doing.
like let the guy do his job and get the report.
Let
Like, why
that
are you on hand for
citizen.
this? Anyway, this episode, I
Ah.
know that you've never seen The Wire, but this is basically season 5 of The Wire, where there's like
An old lady killing homeless people,
there
looking
is there is
young.
a fake serial killer preying on the homeless that the cops invent themselves
Ah! It's a true story.
in order to enable them to do their actual job.
Um, and more crimes.
No, it's like to bring attention. like try to
To bring
like
awareness.
it's The Wire is such a good show.
Okay.
So anyway,
So
yeah, we got Marvin Goose calling home.
so good. When does this little girl show up? Because she's just like hanging out everywhere, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's a little homeless girl, not more than 7 years old. That sucks." Anyway, blah 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 blah. Murder, murder, murder.
Okay, so Lady Di is doing a benefit concert for the homeless, despite her manager like not understanding why.
Yeah, gross. Why would you?
We don't get like a full explanation of what her rationale is. I assume it's so she can identify them. I don't know.
I just she was gonna pick them all off one by one.
Right? Like, all right, you, I'll find you, I'll find you, I'll find you.
Yeah, it's like in any other sort of rock show where security picks out the juiciest looking ones to bring backstage. What? Don't look at me
Right,
like
right.
that.
Yeah. Lady Di has got um a, a life force coordinator
Hmm.
that picks out little
Uh
ragamuffins
huh. Yep.
and brings them backstage to
It's the
have tea.
exact same thing. Underage girls. End of story.
So here's the thing: when we're first hearing Lady Di's version of "I'm a Little Teapot," Birdie, the social worker, is like, "Oh, this was one of Sarah's favorite nursery rhymes. She used to sing it all the time."
No, the fuck she didn't. What the hell are you talking about? No
So like a
one sings.
70-year-old woman was just randomly singing "I'm a Little Teapot"
No.
in your presence.
Nuh-uh. I
Like
call bullshit all the
I could
way.
see singing that just like absentmindedly while you're like making tea for yourself at home or whatever.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Maybe that's what she does when they hang out, absentmindedly making tea all the time. And she's like, "Hold up, I know you're in the middle of a sentence, but I gotta finish my song." Short and stout.
Right, but she really rocks it out.
Yeah,
Like,
she does. Are you
right?
kidding me?
Fuck. I want the soundtrack to this episode. I want to be able to listen to it on the go.
You could probably record it off of the video on YouTube.
I want the laser version of that song and the non-laser version,
Oh
you
yeah,
know? Because
yeah,
I'm like a total Lady Di fan.
yeah. And I'm a total laser fan, so it totally, you know.
Yeah. Do they still have laser tag? Does it still exist? Like, are there
They did
arenas
a
and
few years
things?
ago. Like we used to go to laser tag arenas every once in a while. A lot of
I
them
guess
still.
now, like, if you're worried about, being inside a sweaty indoor place where like you're just breathing in smoke and other people's breath,
Mm.
wearing a cyber goth mask is not just cool, but could save your life.
Which nothing cooler than that.
Uh-huh. Nothing cooler than being alive after laser tag.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, so yeah, so there's this 7-year-old runaway. She goes to, I thought it was like backstage at the Lady Di benefit, but it wasn't even the right day for the benefit.
Mm-mm.
Lady Di was just like doing press at a radio thing that was also inside a club,
Yeah,
and
it got weird. I don't know
it
what.
got a little bit convoluted. It doesn't matter,
Yeah,
you know.
because they're like,
Ryan has documents to show that he's with Pop Icon magazine.
and then he gets her and is like, I need your cursed item. And she's like, oh
Right.
fuck,
She's
what?
like, get them out of here. And like there's no one dragging them away, but like he does some great pantomime. And so does Mickey. She's dressed as the fucking chauffeur.
Yeah, because
And
that was
then when
hot.
they go to drive afterwards,
Hmm?
he's like, give me the keys. She's like, no, I'm the chauffeur. He's like, I made you dress in the uniform because you look better in it.
Bro,
And she
that's your
calls him a
cousin.
chauvinist,
Yeah, she does.
but also hands him the keys,
Yeah.
recognizing his authority.
Fine. You
Yes,
are the
sir,
man.
you're in charge, as we
Uh,
both agree.
uh, oh, I forgot what I was gonna ask you.
Oh, so that anyway, that ragamuffin kid is not even a ragamuffin. She's just like she's a young runaway or perhaps an orphan. It's unclear. We
Yeah,
don't
they're
know
like,
anything about her backstory.
"Where's your mom and dad?" Oh, you don't have. They don't even let her finish. They don't even let her answer. They're like, "Where's your mom and dad?" Oh, you don't have them, do you?
But she's an amazing pickpocket. She
Ah.
stole the manager's wallet, then she stole Lady Di's bracelet.
No, she
And
gave that to the kid.
wait, she gave that to the kid?
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, I'll let you have this bracelet if you don't drink out of this cup and get the fuck out of here." She's like, "Deal."
I like zoned out for a second.
Dude, so
So wait,
much.
explain it to me. Break it
She
down. What happened? What happened?
okay, God, Lady Di was at the park trying to get some younger dude to drink some tea, and the kid is like, "Oh, I like tea. Let me have some of that tea." And Lady Di's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And she didn't. And the little girl was like, "That's a pretty bracelet." She's like, "You want it? Get the fuck out of here, and I'll give it to you." That's it.
So
And
then later, Birdie recognizes that bracelet as her missing buddy, Sarah, who loves to sing I'm a Little Teapot. And
wait
then
a
Brian is
minute.
like, wait a minute, if I draw on this record cover and make Lady Di look old, she looks exactly like this photograph
Does she?
of the missing old lady.
Okay, here's I have a point to make about Ryan. He's a dumbass. Remember when they were at the monastery and they like, okay, okay, back up. Jack gives them all these credentials, and he like painstakingly forges all this shit, and then they get there, they get through all the security, they get there, and then instead of like trying to ease into it and be like, "Hey, what's you got any teacups or anything?" I don't know. He just blurts it out. He's like, "I know about the pen. I know about the teacup." Like, no, bro, just ease your way in. You don't just like blurt that shit out. These
Right?
people are
Just
killing
look around
people.
for it. See if you can find the thing without blowing your cover.
They're 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 murderers. They will probably murder you if you fucking call them on their shit.
Yeah, so he's really good at walking into a place confidently with sunglasses on. But after that, his whole fucking ruse falls apart.
He like gets flustered and doesn't know what to do next. Murderer! Fuck!
I blew it again. At least my cousin looks amazing dressed as a chauffeur.
Look at
I have a
that
real
ass,
chauffeur
Arnie.
kink. I watched Driving Miss Daisy, but I pictured Miss Daisy doing the driving.
Uh, yeah, Ryan. So,
Right. And then also in the episode when Birdie hits on Jack for like the 40th time,
mhm.
Ryan says, I think age is just in the mind, which is like he's kind of hitting on her. It's like he's comforting her, but also being flirty. And she
Right.
angrily says, only a young person would think that, and storms off.
Yeah, that was weird. I'll just leave it there.
And then, like 5 minutes later, she's telling a homeless guy that she like doesn't murder, that
Cause
she
she
that
nabbed
she
the cup.
feels young.
She
Yeah.
nabbed the cup and she's like, "I'm gonna see if this shit works." And she was about to murder
Well,
him.
wait a second. Wait a second. Before she nabbed the cup, the little girl nabbed the cup,
Oh yeah,
and then Ryan and Mickey like chase her down in the park and are like, "Listen, we'll give you food and a bed and like a much like not quite as pretty cup if you come with us." And
yeah. And
she's like,
potato
"Do
chips.
you have potato chips?"
Because I
And
am a
Ryan's like,
child.
don't you touch my potato chips."
You bitch.
Yeah, so
Oh wait.
then they bring the cup back to the shop, but they don't get it into the vault. Birdie swings by, sees the cup, steals it. Apparently she knows more than she's letting on. Maybe, I don't know.
There were a few scenes where she seemed to walk in to the conversation before they realized she was there, and she may have heard more.
Uh,
But even then, okay, let's do some role playing.
Mm.
You and I are Birdie as one person, two people, I don't know. And
Uh-huh.
we
Sure.
walk into a conversation where three people are talking about a cursed item that murders people through magic of choking vines that escape through the cup and steal their youth. How, what are you going to think of that conversation that you overhear? Are you going to
Okay.
think, "Oh,
Well,
cool"?
I'm gonna go with one of two answers.
Mhm.
When I overhear something that I am not meant to overhear,
Mhm.
I or like I try not to invade people's
Absolutely.
privacy, whether or not I'm in a private or public space. I
Mhm.
try not to read other people's devices.
Mhm.
Um, I literally try to close my ears when
Same.
possible. Sometimes you're just walking by someone on the street and their voice carries and you hear like
I
a
hate
sentence
sweating.
fragment,
Yeah. Mhm.
whatever it is. And it's like you unmistakably hear it and you
Mhm.
like giggle to yourself, imagining this whole person's life. If I heard a sentence fragment about cursed objects that I couldn't unhear, I would have follow-up questions. If I knew these people and I
Right.
walked into the room like, "Hey guys, wait, are we talking about cursed objects?"
I love cursed objects.
Yeah, I have been a fan of cursed objects for years. I'm so glad that we have this shared interest.
Yes, and I love the fact that you can steal someone's youth using that object. How do you do that? What exactly is going on with this teacup that grows vines out of it?
Yeah, as a haggard, unattractive
Mm-hmm.
old woman who wants to attract male attention,
I just
it's
want to
very
get
important
fucked.
to
Can you
me.
guys help me?
Yeah, I'm trying to harness youth
And
and
fuck.
also and fuck. And so Brian, who's basically like, listen, I'll throw it in you. Uh, apparently she's not what he's looking for. I mean,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
maybe.
Apparently he's not what she's looking for.
That's what it is.
Right.
Because he's an idiot.
Because she's not just a hag, she's a fag hag.
Yeah.
If Jack's gay and she is pining for him and maybe does not realize
You know, it was the 80s. I don't think a lot of us ladies knew who the
that
dudes were.
Liberace might have had other interests than you,
Yeah, that's where it is.
it's Liberace or bust.
Or Liberace's bust. So she goes
Oh,
to the park with this teacup. She's like, I'm gonna get.
Pause.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped a part.
I don't even know. I just want to talk about Liberace for a second.
Oh.
What character did he play on the Batman show?
I forget the name of that character. It was.
Yeah, I forget too. He's just basically playing Liberace, the
Yeah,
villain.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I don't think it was a Batman character before that. Germaine, not Germaine. Hold please.
You're
Entertain the
looking it up.
troops. Yeah.
Nice. Do 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 do. Bum bum bum. Batman. Da na 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 na. Batman.
Chandel.
Chandel. Does it say more about what that character was?
I suppose if I opened up the article, it would.
Okay, so wait, you're telling me
Uh huh.
Liberace played a character named Chandel
Uh huh. Mm-hmm. Uh,
on Batman.
that's correct. He he's basically Liberace. Some try. Wait, nope, not gonna go there. He was a renowned pianist.
If you know what I mean.
Uh, During a performance at the White House, he found himself forced to use a player piano to cover the fact that he had injured his hands. His thuggish twin brother, Harry, used this fact to blackmail Chandel into a life of crime using the alias of Fingers. Harry used Chandel in a plot to murder Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson so that he could marry Aunt Harriet and claim Bruce Wayne's fortune. When Chandel planned to go straight upon Mm.
Ah!
Upon planning to use the fortune to pay Harry back, Don, Ray, and Mimi ended up using knockout gas on him. When Harry's lawyer, Alfred Sly, wanted his payment for getting Harry out of Gotham City Police Station, Harry also had him exposed to the knockout gas. Batman and Robin managed to defeat Harry and free both Chandel and his lawyer from a death trap.
Hmm.
Chandel was last seen playing his music for the guards while Harry was making plans to escape from prison. Was that an episode or is that just... No, it's just his history. Oh, shit. There's so much more to Chandel that we don't even know. Yeah, that's Chandel.
Nice. So wait, what happened in this episode we were talking about?
I don't know. Who cares?
Me neither. So Lady Di is like, apparently she's got a real strict regimen for her skincare routine, and if she misses just one murder, she gets old real fast.
Real fast. Like a few hours go by and she's a skeleton. Birdie stole this teacup and she's gonna try and she goes to the park and she's like, hey, there's that bench that every homeless person goes to sleep on. I'm gonna go bug
Right,
that
I'm gonna
person.
wake up this guy.
And she does, and he starts to drink it because who doesn't love tea? And the vines come out and she's like, oh fuck, it worked. No, no, don't drink it, don't drink it, don't drink it. And he's like, bitch, I was drinking tea. What are you doing? And they just like make out all night and I mean, it was implied, but they were
Yeah,
like
we
talking and making out for hours.
we see the next morning and they both look refreshed.
At ease and calm, and they just had a really nice time together.
So much less tense than
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
That's that's why they call her Dirty Birdie.
You know. So I don't even know why they needed to show that except for Birdie knows the truth or whatever.
Right, apparently Birdie knows the truth and is not willing to kill for youth because she feels young anyway. Good.
Fart
Great.
noise, yeah.
Fart noise.
Then they all go and they're like, hey, Lady Di, we know the truth about you. And then the manager is like, hey, Lady Di, it's time to go on stage. Your show is late. Get out here, whatever. And I don't know. I turned away for a second, and then when I turned back, there was a skeleton on the ground, and they're like, "Oh no!"
Also, uh, Jack lays a trap. So okay, uh, so Lady Di kills somebody in the park, and Jack and I'm sorry, Lady Di kills somebody in the park. Ryan and Mickey are
Sorry, hold
on.
on, hold on. I had to go back after looking up Batman stuff. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. Lady Di kills somebody in the park, and Mickey and Ryan are on the scene. They get there, they're like standing over the dead body when the cop shows up, and like there are a bunch of like everybody's hanging out in the park,
Uh-huh.
and he's got backup and they get arrested. But Jack was hiding in the bushes, just doing Jack stuff, I guess, and
Jack
watches it
and
all go down. And then he like hangs out back at the bench where murders happen.
yeah,
But he's got a very convincing wig on and his
yeah.
back turned. And so Lady Di approaches him and says, hey, young man, would you like some tea? And he says, yes, I would love some. And she offers him the cup. He takes it, and then he peels off his wig and holds up the teacup as he dances away, declaring, I've got it. I fooled you, you dummy. And she like can't stand up or chase him because
She's
she's too
old.
she's old. Her brittle old bones won't allow it. And
Mhm.
reaches out and yells, "No!" Basically turning into ash in the moment.
Yeah.
So this is like every Sam Raimi villain. Every Sam Raimi villain is a haggard old woman.
Because they're the worst.
Well, yeah, because if you're neither fuckable nor
Mm-hmm.
maternal,
Mm-hmm.
then you're a monster.
Yes.
Those are the three options for a woman.
Yep.
Fuckable, maternal,
Uh-huh.
monster.
Yep.
That's it.
Checks
Those are your
out.
options.
That's how I see every woman. All at the same time. You know what?
But also,
Uh-huh.
those Sam Raimi monsters are scary as fuck.
Yeah. And they're gonna laugh at you a lot.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they mocking me? I feel so emasculated.
Exactly. That's what they do, those fucking bitches.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta kill this old bitch.
Hey, but good news. Birdie's gonna adopt that little girl, maybe. I don't know what happened. I don't.
Right. So they scrubbed her down and put on some new clothes.
A
And now
dress.
she and Birdie are gonna go have tea parties.
Mm-hmm.
Giggle.
Uh-huh.
That's the end of the episode.
Murder homeless people together. She knows where to find them. The other old lady, she can wrap vines around. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so the little girl who's great at theft
Mm-hmm.
and Birdie who just wants to get railed.
Little girl's gonna be the lookout. Yeah.
No, Birdie's the lookout. Oh, you mean so Walsh is getting railed? I
Yes.
thought you meant for the theft.
It's an exchange. One looks out one time, the other looks out the other time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, Birdie lures. She's a cougar luring men into sex while the little girl cleans out their apartment.
Oh! God damn, Birdie's smart as hell.
Right? And then the guys are like, "Oh, I fucked an old lady, so I can't even tell anyone or complain about it."
Yep, and Birdie's got a poverty kink, so there's that the whole thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she wakes up a clearly inebriated man in the park who's okay, I'll have some tea. And then,
Uh-huh.
yeah, nothing bad goes down for either of them. He doesn't get murdered, and neither does she. What a twist.
Are you saying that all homeless people are murderers? Is that what you're saying? Josh, that doesn't sound like you.
I'm saying that anyone sleeping in a park on their own should be prepared that anyone approaches them while they're sleeping means to do them harm and should act accordingly. I'm not saying that homeless people are themselves killers, but have to think of their own self defense first and foremost. They are extremely vulnerable.
Yep.
That's what I mean.
Yep. Hey.
Because I mean, seriously, that woman was coming there to kill him.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's the only reason anyone gets woken up on that bench is to get murdered.
Or railed. Or both. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, talk more about Birdie wanting to get railed so that I can swap it out so that it doesn't have to be me saying it when we have the audio podcast.
Birdie loves to get railed, and she has the wildest kinks.
Right. Birdie's into vagabonds. Ryan's into chauffeurs.
Uh-huh. And
Jack,
mature women, yeah.
Jack, it's undisclosed, but not Birdie.
Nope.
Birdie ain't it.
Mm-mm. She's too thirsty.
We don't know is Mickey does not mention her fiance in this episode. We
Nah.
assume that he's still in the mix, maybe?
I just assume it's a long distance, he's cheating on her and she's gonna pretend like he's not situation.
I mean,
Right?
she's got a cousin right there.
Bro. I tell you about the woman that as soon as I got to O'Hare last week started vomiting right in front of me. That was
Oh my
great.
god.
Yeah,
Outside or inside?
inside.
Oh.
I felt bad, but also gross.
Old, young? She looked like she
She,
was dying.
no, she was looked very. Does the word tricksy mean anything to you?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Uh, 20s probably. Very normcore and yet stylish.
Normcore but stylish. And that Trixie is a style?
You know, back in the 90s, we called them Trixies. They were young women who had a very simple and yet specific aesthetic of brand names and, you know, the latest but not the latest styles. You know, a Volkswagen, whatever those cars were, not a bug. It was just a yuppie young aesthetic. I don't.
And the kind of car they drove was part of that?
Oh yeah, it's just one of the many accessories they had.
I got to confess something, and I know that I'm very much in the minority here. I don't know what your car is supposed to say about you unless it's like an obvious uh midlife crisis penis thing. Like
I don't.
I know that there's supposed to be other things that people read into what you are driving and how it tells a story about you. I don't know what those things are.
Josh.
I'm not interested in like learning them.
No.
And I'm also not interested in like seeing the world through that prism.
No. No. I'm in the same boat. The only reason I know about the car thing is because the goddamn local news did a story on Trixies and they mentioned the cars multiple
So they call
times.
them Trixies?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so is Trixie Trixie
I believe so.
like Pixie?
Yeah.
Trixie.
Uh-huh.
And would if you are a Trixie, would you call yourself a Trixie? Or
I'm
is it
not
like a
sure.
derogatory thing that only people from the outside are saying?
I think it started off derogatory and then they just kind of started to own it because it's like, yeah, I have money and I spend my money on things I like. Fuck you guys.
Okay, so Trixie is a type of hipster yuppie of a certain, but like a very specific kind.
I believe, listen, this is like easily from the 90s, early
That's fine. That's
2000s,
fine. That's
so I'm
fine.
sure no one has heard this term in like 2 decades. But at
And
the
was it
time,
Chicago specific?
I think it may have. I wasn't positive, but I think so.
Okay.
Mostly, Lincoln Park, Lakeview girlies.
Okay. So like were Trixie's scenesters or like were they sort of too normal to be scenesters?
Too normal. Uh, they would go. I don't know if it's true, but I associate them with pick-me's now.
What is a pick me?
Don't make me explain all this stuff that I'm only halfway aware of. It's like the girl who's like, I don't like hanging out with girls. There's too much drama. All my friends are guys because they think I'm really cool, and I'm gonna say everything I say is gonna be for their approval. And all the guys are jocks. And in my head, jocks is a very specific thing.
So a pick me
Uh huh.
is a woman who does anything for the approval of a man.
Yeah.
And do they have a style?
Not necessarily, unless it's to be pleasing to the eye of a man.
Couldn't could I asked this question out of ignorance. Could a pick me potentially look in any different style,
Absolutely. But in my head,
but
they are
it's
specific.
how they like interact. It's based
Yes.
on the interaction. It's not based on looks, it's not based on money
Correct.
or like age or social status or anything else. It's just about like you want a man to like you.
Yeah.
So are there anti pick me's, and are anti pick me's like a thing?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not. I think that would just be a feminist,
No, because like,
but
okay, so here's the
without the
thing.
extreme.
Like, right, like a feminist is a human being, right? Like a full human being who's like the main character of her own story. She has wants and needs. She has tastes. She has things she's into and not into, whatever.
Hmm.
She's a full person.
Um,
A pick me is defined by whatever it is she wants the guy to like her best. Is it in competition with other women? It sounds like it is by the name.
yeah, I think so because I feel like. I feel like they compete against each other to be the pick meest of the pick me's, but I don't
Oh,
know.
pick me's hang out with each other and they like feed into each other's psychology of trying to like please a man.
I think so.
We're making all of this up at this
Yes,
point, right?
absolutely, 100%. Yes.
And a Trixie has nothing to do with a pick me.
Probably not.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, so guys, that has been an episode of Friday the 13th, the series. Thanks so much for joining us. That's all the time we have for today. Come back next time. We'll be back with more.